Alright, now let's go ahead and start to build out the geometry for our nose. Alright, so this is where we are right now. Just kind of move some of these points around again. So now we need to figure out where we want this nose to come out from. So we need the geometry to come out, or to exist there for us to actually pull this out. So it's going to be right along this strip, and let's say that we want it to come down to maybe right here is where we want the bottom of that nose to come out. So we actually need to have some geometry in there for that. So you can either insert another edge loop in here, or you can go ahead and move this up kind of at the base of that nose. Okay, and we'll do some shaping here in a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and just kind of smooth this out a bit. Okay, so this is going to be the bottom of the nose, all right, and you just want some geometry there so you can pull that out. And we'll deal with the shape of this base here, but let's go ahead and extrude this nose out, just some basic geometry here. So let's grab these faces. And again, remember, this is going to be half of the nose, right? So if the nose is this wide, half of the nose is this wide, then it's going to be twice as wide. So you just need to keep that in mind as you're modeling in this on one side. So go ahead and just go down all the way to the bottom of the nose and go ahead and just extrude that. I'm just going to pull it straight out. Okay. And now what we can do, what we want to do is basically pull this back into the face. So let me go ahead and grab these, and we want to pull that back in there. Okay, and we can look at how we can kind of reroute some of that geometry. But the main thing on this particular character, the nose is going to have a nice curve, right? It's going to come out from the brow, which we need to probably stick out a little bit more, but it wants to, let's go to side view here. We want it to kind of have a nice curve basically down here and have a nice little button nose sticking out. Okay, nice and little kind of petite little nose there with a nice little kind of curve in like this rather than a more of a masculine outer curve. Okay, so that's one of the things that we need to think about. So we can come in here and start to shape this. And again, we're sitting at a fairly low resolution still. So then we can come in here and just kind of shape that to something more like that. Okay. And then we can grab these sides here and think about, go ahead and push these in a bit. Okay. And we need some more resolution down here. So what we can do is add another edge loop. So you can insert an edge loop. And we can insert one right along here, which will help us define the nose a little bit more. All right. So now if you want to, you can see right now this geometry is being routed across the face over to the other side, which might be fine for you. But we'll take a look here in a second, maybe possibly in the next lesson, about actually routing this geometry up and over the head. Now one of the things you want to make sure you do, since we extruded this and it's along the boundary here where we're mirroring, you want to make sure you get rid of those interior faces that have been created from that extrude. So go ahead and just delete those. Okay. So down here at this point, this is where we want the actual kind of little nose to come out. So you might want to add maybe one more line right in here. Okay, and then you can come in here and pull this out. Okay, and the nose is going to be upturned slightly. And now it comes down to shaping once again. So you want your nose to be taper as it goes up. you want to kind of thin it out a little bit as it goes up here. Get these nice and spread out. Okay. You don't want to push these too far, push these in too far. You want to get that little bit of flesh that comes over the nose and down around near the mouth, which will continue to tweak a little bit. You see how this kind of is routed up there. Okay, so you want to kind of keep that. And you can pull this nostril shape. We're not going to do too much with nostrils. It's going to be a very simplified model. Go along with our stylized theme here. And if you want to, you can go ahead and smooth it, and that'll help you, kind of figure out the shape a little bit better, what you're going for. Okay. All right. So we've got a base set up for the nose. Let's go ahead and come in the next lesson and tweak this a little bit more, kind of rounding some of this geometry around, getting the shapes a little bit closer to what we want. Okay? So we'll tackle that in the next lesson.